Welcome, welcome.
Hey,
We're
Saeed.
so excited you are here, and we're give us a little. What's your energy level today? I myself am. I think I'm like in the middle here today. I do have my caffeine. No, I drank it all. I had my caffeine, but it
Did
is
that check in?
yes, yes. Where are you? Where are you in your energy level? We got kind of around the middle, 53.72%.
Very specific.
Yes. I love the specifics. I do. All right. Yes, very and say hi. Give us a little hi in the chat. Let us know where you're joining here in our butter mixer today. We have some people joining here. We got a lucky number 7 people in the room today so far. So let's see. Sri Lanka. So I know you're saying it's super hot in Germany, Saeed, but it's also very super hot here in Texas. So California,
Yeah.
Oregon. Not you're 90 degrees Fahrenheit. We are at 101 today.
Ooh.
Yes. Okay, that gift that you just posted, Cheska, is fantastic. Uh, all right, so I think we'll go ahead and get started here so we can give Merrick all the time that he needs. Looks like we don't have anyone at 100%, which is absolutely okay. And
Mm.
maybe we'll get there, maybe we won't. I'm okay with either. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna bring well before we do that, I want to know who's familiar with butter and who's new. Give me a little what are the thumbs up meaning? Familiar? Yeah, well, yeah, because that was from Saeed. Give me a thumbs down if you're new. Thumbs down. So we see Chris is there. You're new to butter. Let's do a little meat butter so we can show you what you're looking at. For those of you who already know this, feel free to chime in with anything new that I don't say. So if you want to roll over your React over there, that's how you get your emojis, or you can use your keyboard shortcuts, which is also fantastic because then you can do multiple. There we go. Uh, Fantastic. You can also, if you have something you want to add and you don't want to, mess up the flow, or maybe Merrick says, "Does anyone have any questions?" And you're like, "I can come off mute, but I just kind of want to," a little question there. You can use your Q button, and it'll tell us as the facilitators you have a question. We can pass you the mic. Everyone's already kind of discovered the chat over there, but you can use the chat and say hi. You can also pop that out of the screen if you're in the app. And then you can mute and unmute yourself with your M key. Same thing with video, on and off. You could be on video or off video. And this is being recorded, just so everyone knows, so you may make your decisions. And then, are you ready to get started? Give us a little stamp of your avatar. So some people always ask me, well, why do you have a thumbs down? Is anyone never ready to get started? Well, I have had people click, I'm not ready to get started, because they couldn't hear anything I was saying. But they saw a big thumbs up and thumbs down, and that was their way. All right. So I'm going to bring Merrick up here with me and give him a little. So we're super excited to have you here to host today. I was kind of upset because I was potentially going to miss this session, and then you know. Marvelously, because we're talking about marvelous meetings, I was able to attend. And so Merrick is a seasoned product and experience designer, which is also close to my heart. I have experience there. And so I was like, oh, yeah, we're kindred spirits. So he's passionate about turning meetings into magical moments and has a background driving innovation at leading brands like Wayfair, Wells Fargo, and Gap. So different brands, but larger brands. So, and he believes that great experiences start with great teams, and great teams have amazing meetings. And that's what we're going to talk about today, those marvelous meetings, those amazing meetings. So I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to pass it over to Merrick, and he's going to have us jump right into our marvelous meetings butter mixer.
Awesome. Thank you, Rach. Woo! All the sound effects. And also, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Butter, for this opportunity. I'm super excited to share with you all. And knowing that many of you, like, if I get maybe some thumbs up, if you are a facilitator, you do this stuff regularly anyway. You're like, yeah, I'll say it definitely is. Rach is awesome. Got some thumbs up. Yeah, just sometimes. Awesome. Yeah, there's a bunch of thumbs up going up. I'm not here to tell you maybe anything that you don't already know. We're going to go through some activities today that's going to help unlock maybe some other things you already know and help you move forward with them. And maybe if this isn't something you normally do, you're going to pick up something new along the way. So, since some of you have probably been here before, meetings can suck. Sometimes, especially virtually. Notice this isn't Butter, so there's also that. But imagine you're leading a virtual meeting. Could be also be in person. You're trying to get the audience to engage. They're not. They're silent. Hardly anyone's participating. Cameras are off. You're feeling frustrated. Maybe some hopelessness there. Like, why am I doing this? This feels like pulling teeth. I'm not a dentist. The meeting feels torturous, and you're unable. Yeah, you're unable to get through the intended outcome. It feels like wasted time. You're like, why do meetings suck so much? Well, I want you to know you're not alone. Definitely not alone. In fact, I'll give you some quotes here, like from a top business leader interviewed by McKinsey, even though this was back in 2019. Imagine like how much more so now. I spend nearly all my time in meetings, and I don't get to sit down and think on my own until after 6 p.m. And how many of you can kind of feel that way? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Been through that. Maybe have coworkers you definitely know are going through that. Yeah. How about these numbers too? All those executives, 61%, so that they have at least half the time in meetings they're spent making decisions. However, only 37% of that are actually decisions that were made in high quality and timely ways. So why are we spending so much time making decisions that aren't high quality and are time consuming? How many of you can relate to that experience as well? Those numbers, they feel like feeling some heads up here, yeah. And so with that, I want you to know that I believe that you have the power and the strength to lead meetings. You have the capacity to make them marvelous. Let me help you pull that up today. Marvelous meetings. Let me share with you here a little thing here. I didn't update. That's on my part. So marvelous meetings. I will lead you some activities. I find that marvelous meetings empower teams. They maximize our time. They make them fun and effective and focused. And at the end of the day, they deliver results. So with that, we're going to go through how you can choose to lead fun and effective meetings, by making minutes matter. We'll transform those passive attendees into active participants and talk about ways of doing that. Explore before, during, and after meeting tips like techniques. Probably stuff you already know, but you're going to be able to help share with each other other ways of doing it. And then creating momentum and taking action. As we go through it, probably see some changes, or experience something today that you might also want to try as well. Who's ready? Hands, thumbs up, we're fired. Let's go. Cool. With that, I want you to know your time is precious. So I'm going to walk through these with y'all. I'd like to offer an agreement for each other. I want to know how well you feel like how this is for you. Let's show up fully and accept each other in whatever capacity we're able to hold that moment. Got some thumbs up. Cool. Feel free to turn your cameras. We'd like to connect virtually with each other. If this is also something that's not for you, I totally understand. But I'd like to really offer that to you so we can be here with each other. I know that bandwidth are issues. I also know focus. Sometimes it's a lot easier to focus out the camera without seeing yourself. I get that too. Great. Want you to have something to write with. I know a couple of the communications, we sent that out. You have something nearby with you, a pencil, pen, paper, stylus tablet. want to show it to me if you got it up, and you can show me in the camera, or go ahead and thumbs up, or in the, got Stacy ready from a comment before. Awesome. Excellent. I mean, use your wall crayon. Excellent. So cool. So with that, those agreements sound good? Who's with me? Give me a little. Awesome. So next, I'm going to ask you a question. I am finding there's something else I need to do here. Hold on. This is also me learning better as a facilitator, because I've only done this a few times too. So I appreciate all your patience in this, because I love this so far and the interactivity. So learning experience for me too. There we are. All right. So you got pen and paper. Why don't you go ahead and take a moment and think to yourself, write out, journal out. When we connect our bodies to our hands, our bodies to our words and our thoughts, they become part of us and how we act and how we react. And so I want us to take a moment to think about this question. Why is it important that you chose to be here today to make meetings marvelous? This could be for you. This could be for your team or your clients, your company, your family. Get a little bit of music here. About a minute or so. Go ahead and think through this. Maybe this has to do with other things in your life. Maybe it has to do with making time. I know for me, that's really important. Time is the one resource I can't get back. It's important to me, and it's important to other people in my life. If you're still writing, feel free to continue to write. Okay, and if you're done, go ahead and add to the chat some sort of emoji or some sort of reaction, or you're done, or maybe it's a GIF, whatever reaction is working for you right now. Cool. Some thumbs up, hands up. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna stop the music there. What I'd like to do is gonna start a poll for y'all. And in that poll, you should be able to add in maybe a few words about this to share with the group. Really connect here with this, your reason for being here. Maybe there's multiple people who have that. I'd also like to welcome, if you don't want to type and you want to say something right now, go ahead and give me a hands up or queue yourself up, and I'm happy to, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so it's important for your clients, for me, being a better me. Yes, life's too short for shitty meetings.
I'll speak my answer, Marek, because facilitators can't answer the poll. So for me, it's always important to make time to learn, right? Even though I always want to learn from others, because no matter what method I'm doing, that's my status quo. So how do I always learn something beyond what I'm always doing?
Excellent. Thank you for sharing, Rachel. Hear that? Wanting to learn and being here to learn, experience something new. Excellent. I love that. Thank you. Seeing to upscale the facilitation style, like-minded facilitators. Thank you for being here. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, spending 2 times at meetings is boring. Previous team wasted a lot of time. Would anyone like to speak to something added here? Happy to let you share as well with the group. All right. Important to learn to facilitate better. Got a lot of votes here for life's too short for really shitty meetings. You get it. Yes. Awesome. Thank you for being here and wanting to make them better. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Flow here. Curious of everyone's added stuff in here. Go ahead and feel free to vote. I'm going to start off on our next activity here.
I think most of put in.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing that. So I want to also take a moment here to realize or recognize what sorts of meetings do you lead? I know you can stamp once. Go ahead and share with me where you mainly lead. Are you leading and facilitating aligning meetings or connecting meetings, maybe deciding or brainstorming? I know sometimes right in between the two of those, they kind of go together. When you have an ideation, you're likely having some decision after that, some planning meetings, any sort of producing. Is it Adela and Chaska? Yeah. Said, are we looking at this?
Yeah, Cheska one-upped me. I was like, oh, I could go in. Yeah, I was like, oh, I could go in the 4 now.
Yeah, so I'm saying like down the middle here. All right,
right? Because it's
like,
like
make the share like a little bit more like let's I like in between a bunch of these.
Yeah, no, because I feel like any type of meeting you always have, like especially for any type of team session, like you always have a version where you want to align and connect first, and then going into generating ideas together, and then eventually deciding. So it's not like one. At least for me, in my case, I can't really just pick one.
Yeah, I understand not being able to pick one. Yeah, for sure. I see a lot of you all listed up here. Very cool. Great. So I want you to know that all of these are possible to make marvelous. So make sure our next part. Ooh. Marvelous meetings are. They are phenomenal. They are fun and effective. They transform before coffee, after coffee, passive to active. And before, during, after. I know I mentioned this. We're going to go into it now. We're actually going to generate a bunch of ideas. Before we do that, I'm going to take that pencil again. Pen or paper, pencil. I want you to think back. I call this a high point story, or what I've learned to be called a high point story, right? Let's use a sort of question to help us come up with things that have worked really well in the past to help us generate ideas moving forward. So take a moment and think back to meetings that you found to be fun and effective. Think about what happened before, during, and after. Maybe something you did, maybe something someone else did. That.
Maxi, do you want us to put it in the chat?
Yeah, if you got that in the chat, that'd be great. So you can
perfect.
still see that. Yeah, thank you. Maybe this was, and also some ideas here, like maybe trying to think of before, during, after. Maybe as the agenda was well defined. Maybe it started and ended on time. Maybe you achieved the intended outcome. Or maybe the post recap was super useful, brought together your team, the people you're working with, or maybe you found that that was effective for clients. Cool.
People are also keen to share a bit about what these experiences were like, and feel free to unmute and or queue up and share it out loud. That would be super awesome.
Yeah, would love to hear. Get some ideas flowing.
I'll share, Marek. So for me, I try to make sure there's. I don't like to join meetings where people just send me a blank calendar invite. Like it doesn't. It's not like I try to make that a rule. And it usually I go back and I'd be like, Do you have an agenda for this meeting? Do you have a purpose for this meeting? I actually use a format that my friend Annie shared with me, which is purpose, process, payoff. And all my agendas follow this. There's a one sentence purpose, a process of during this session, we're going to do X, Y, and Z to get to that purpose, and then payoff. After this session, we'll have achieved X, Y, Z. I even use it for my workshops, any meeting.
I like the 3 Ps there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll put it in the chat for everyone.
Awesome.
For me, I'll also share a bit. Like one of the small, simple practices I like doing and before any meeting is just giving people 2 to 3 minutes at the start of every session to think individually about what they want out of the session. Because sometimes just asking people to go straight on to discuss doesn't, especially for the most introverted ones in the group, it's so hard to get into the flow if you don't have that mind space and you didn't sort of settle at the start. So I like that simple practice, just giving them time to think and reflect first.
Yes, I hear you. So taking that time, think, reflect, giving the space to do it. I know I can really relate to that too personally. I really like that time, that moment to think before speaking. Yeah. Anyone else feel that way? Some thumbs up, thumbs down, get some reactions in here too. Like to offer anyone else would like to share? Something that comes to mind. All right, see a bunch of stuff in the chat, so let's talk a little bit about that too. Just go ahead and read through that. But those honest and transparent check-ins. Thank you, Adela, for that. Yeah, before and after. I think I saw some of dad jokes. Was that Sam? Did you say something there? Yeah, so I guess I saw that come through a bit there. Before as attendees are filtering in, effective in communication, be able to and debriefing. Awesome. Mini games, brain breaks. Love that. Yeah, especially in timing. Awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and embrace all of these. What we're going to do is move into a Miro board. Who here is familiar with Miro? Yeah, thumbs up. If we're not, also okay. I want you to with Butter. Everyone should be able to access this directly into our screen right now. Who here isn't having issues with that? Can I get a thumbs up or like a hands up if you're having an issue? Is everyone able to access the board? Great, I don't see any
Does
thumbs down.
thumbs up mean you are able to or
Yeah,
aren't
you are able to.
Okay. That looks like we're good then.
Awesome. Yay, cool. Well, you can all access it. What we're going to do now is move into this activity. I'm going to turn down or off the music. If you are listening to music and you're like, I don't want to listen to this, there's a way to mute it at the bottom. So go ahead and feel free to do that. If you're like, I don't want to have this playing for me right now. While I gather us together though, for about 10 minutes, we're going to go through this activity. I think Rach and Cheska are going to help me break out into breakout rooms in a moment. We're going to go through this before, during, and after activity, using some of the stuff you've already heard, using some of the other ideas you have together. You're going to find your room number after you're broken out to the room, add your before, during, and after meeting actions for about a minute or so. What person one, decide who's person one, who's person two. Person one, you're going to share your example for about a minute. Person two, you're going to reflect on something you admired from that person one. Maybe it's, hey, I really appreciated that you mentioned that the 3 Ps, right? Like, for example, how I responded back to Rach with that 3 Ps, that purpose. And to me, that's something I could really, really use. Thank you for sharing that. Then you'll switch. Person two will share their example, their story, and person one will reflect on that. Together, you will come up with some commonalities and themes that you're seeing before, during, after. About 3 minutes on that. Those are those yellow stickies at the bottom. And then you'll nominate someone in a room to come back and talk. And really, that could be both you, both talk. I'm not saying like, these are guidelines. We're not making like parlay. Like these are rules. These are just helping us guide us through, giving us some structure, giving us a little bit of container to help facilitate our discussion and our ideation and helping you unlock some new things you might try. What questions do you have for broken out rooms?
Clear?
All right. If there are no questions, everyone can recognize that each
Mar-
board has a room. Yeah.
Marek, should people's boards will open for them in their breakouts, right? And they should look for the board number that corresponds with their room number.
Correct. Look for the board number that corresponds with your room number. Yep. And use that board to help add content to it for yourselves to help with your content, with your conversation as well. And as well as the themes, those are there available to you.
It looks like Stacy's having some issues with audio, so I'm gonna respond to her there because she can't hear me. I was gonna reply here. Cheska, I guess whenever you're ready, get us into those breakouts.
I'm gonna get people into the breakouts, and then we will see you very shortly. If you have any questions, please feel free to just ping us or put it in the chat, so at least it's easy for us to help you out. Okay, see you in a bit.
Do we?
Hello. Welcome back. See you, Chris. I see some smiles. Adela, Rebecca, Samiha, and Maxine, Ted. Hello. And Cassie. Hi. Welcome back. Who was able to learn something new, take on something different, maybe connect with a new friend?
Mhm.
Yeah. Awesome. I've seen some words swirling around. People are getting some ideas. We see the cursors moving around. We got some themes. If you didn't write themes, that's okay. I'm certain you were able to come up with themes without writing them down. You connected with each other. Might be able to give us a moment here to come back together, and we can use the Q function here. If you have the Q1 or which one is yeah, I have a comment. That's one we want to share. Yeah, great. Jessica has a comment in the queue. Want us to be able to collect. Go ahead and queue yourself up if you were the nominated person. If that's also not for you, I understand. If you want to type in the chat, also cool. We just want people you to share what you learned from each other back to the room here, so we can learn from your experience as well. Who is of the energy right now to go first? And I got Jessica queued up, but I also know we're
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you can share what we learned.
I want to give space to
You
other
can share the
people.
themes that we had. Yeah.
That's what I said. We're gonna give space to anyone who wants to pop in, but we're always here to just say, I can improv it if you need.
Trust on Rach to do that. But maybe let's make it democratic. House number one, room number one, feeling.
House number
Yeah.
one.
Take the stage first.
Yeah, Marek, can you use your bring to you function and bring everyone to board one?
Totally can.
Not to put any pressure on Maxine and Stacy at all.
I don't mind.
I recognize you all still made it happen. So thank you for that.
So
I hope you're able to get something out of it. Looks like we have some content here.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Stacy in or not? Because I think she was trying to read.
Oh yeah. Well, let's hear from you, Maxine.
Yeah, I can go ahead. It was interesting way to work. However, she couldn't hear me and I could hear her. But yeah, so we just like the themes that we came up with is like the importance of really good preparation. And not just, going into it with just winging it, making sure that the right people are in the room to make decisions, making sure the room is actually set up well, a clear agenda, a clear goal. And then also that we both were speaking about efficiency and accountability, and that's making sure that afterwards, like, people are assigned to what they've said they're going to do, and like every decision that's been made or every action that needs to be taken has a person assigned to it, so there's that a sense of accountability and then follow up after that. Those are the teams that we came up with. I'm not sure if that's how he wanted us to share or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm hearing that accountability, being prepared, being effective and efficient with it, being able to follow through, like that. Everything just listed here and the way you spoke about it, I can hear that you really connected on that, on those themes of being, especially with these activities before, during, and after. Yes, exactly how I'm looking that you share it out. Thank you for the example.
Marek, can you bring us to the next board that we're going to go doing? Because I don't think it brought everyone to.
Is it working? Did it go to one? Okay. I had another window open too. That might have been.
Just make sure you click on your avatar and bring everyone to you. If you're not signed in to Miro on Butter, it won't do that. You have to do it in the other window.
Then I'll do it in the other window because I was. Oh, good.
That worked that time. So
getting that up. We go to room 2.
Yeah.
I'd like to share for room 2.
Adele and I were in group 2. I think we got stuck on the first part for the first 9 minutes, and so then breezed through the during and after in that final minute. So we're kind of rushing some things as we're talking, but some major themes. I think, Adela, it was a pleasure being in a group with you because I think we're two very different facilitators. She has very calming kind of mindset energy, and I'm very ADHD and animated. And so you take two different yin to those yangs. I'm a very strong in-person facilitator, and so I'm really activating my remote facilitation skill set. And Adela and I both collaborated on perfectionism and how much prep goes into facilitation. But then we've both had more success with being less prepared and more adaptable to something. So very abruptly saying, hey, can you co-facilitate this thing with me? And then that going more positive than if I was given a week prep and was stressing about it and losing sleep over it. So a lot of the before was just really emphasizing the connection piece, going in with a game plan more than following a strict lesson plan. And during was a lot more recognizing your participant needs. So I like to gamify as much as I possibly can, rather than the less time I spend speaking, the more time you guys get out of the program, I feel. Then after, we were just talking about more immediate takeaways for kind of giving a thumbs up if that was meaningful to you, a takeaway, an action item to leave the activity with that day, and then follow up a week later, say, I still miss you, and I remember you from a week ago, how you doing, kind of check-in stuff. So not forcing the after right away. I'll pause there.
That's fantastic. Wow. I'm very, that connection. You had something so dynamic. You were able to bring together and find that commonality and having structure, but having flexibility. And really, what I really recognize through that I like to share with you is that recognizing the participants and their needs, right? Really knowing who you're with can be really, really helpful in deciding what you're doing and why, right? And how you're responding back, or how your takeaways after, like how you're helping them after the fact too. I like how you said, like, hey, I miss you. Like, I can hear that. You're like, hey, by the way, like, we did this thing, and I'm still thinking about you. Would anyone else like to respond back to that in any way as well? Anything else you appreciate recognizing that Chris shared? That Chris
all good.
Del, anything else to add from your perspective? No? All right. Awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Room 3. Bring you to me again. Everyone should see room 3. Who'd like to share from room 3?
Rebecca and the Said. So I just start, and Rebecca, if you like, you can join in. So I think we played by different rules when it came to this activity. We had a lot of fun discussing and connecting. However, when the questions were on fun and efficiency, I think from Rebecca's perspective, or the things she shared was more about efficiency. So having clear objectives from the beginning, and also afterwards, everybody being clear about what are the next steps, what is to do, no confusion about what was this whole thing about, and why did I have to join it, and the meeting itself being like vibrant and having discussions where everybody can have their part. So that's at least from what I understood. And from my part, because I call myself the facilitator for a reason, I just like to play with humor and fun and joy. So I'm starting with the way I promote my sessions. And I'm not talking about team meetings or like public like trainings or workshops or like sessions like this. We're working with a lot of humor. The worst memes I can create or find, funny videos, false advertisement, whatever it is to bring people to a workshop is fine for me. And during a session, just like we experienced today in Bata, looks different, smells different, sounds different, right? So if you join something with expectation of, I'm used to meetings, and then bam, there comes something we didn't expect. I think that's a great thing to have people like engage and create a fun environment. And at the end, because I do, as I said, things that are more publicly, when people come back, even without knowing what the topic is, I will do something something about butter or Miro. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm in. I will come back next time. I think, okay, that's a great. First of all, great feedback, and also it means people at least had fun. I don't know how efficient it was, but at least it was fun and enjoyable. And people did not want to punch themselves in their faces while I was like talking or facilitating.
That's fantastic. They want to, yeah, okay. They can,
That's
they
the
get
advice, you
visual.
know. If you don't want to commit suicide, it's fine. We can work on from there to having fun. And
I hear you wanting to make it fun and effective, and make that all the things you're sharing there around the communication, recognizing that having those objectives too can really help set you up to have and also recognize what is going to be fun for that group. Thank you. Can we get to room 4? I'd like to give you opportunities, room there to speak as well.
So I'll start us off.
Thank you.
We too spent a lot of time thinking about, adding our notes on stickies. And so we didn't have a whole lot of time at the end to talk or to come up with a theme. But I'm going to turn it over to my room partner to talk about icebreakers, because that was one thing that really came out that we haven't really talked about much for the other rooms.
Thank you, Cassie. That's great. Sabina, would you like to share more on that?
Yes. So
I also want to recognize that you've spent a lot of time generating ideas, which is also fantastic.
So what we felt was like, a good icebreaker would always kickstart a meeting for a better ending. Yeah. So it
Oh,
would,
I like that. So kickstart, use a good icebreaker to kickstart a meeting for a better ending.
Yes. Yeah.
Who can relate to that? Get some energy there. Yeah. Feeling that out. Awesome. I think that's a fantastic add to what we're talking about here. Thank you for sharing. I want to make sure we're moving through so we can close out our time together effectively. Yay. So some key takeaways. We should be able to close. As a reminder, some reminders for yourself. If you can leave for anything here, it's how you're going to transform those active, passive attendees into active participants, like we're doing here today. You all are participating in this. How do we engage people and enroll them to be a participant in this? Lean on your strengths. You all, I didn't have to tell you, right? You all have experienced this in some way. What I like to do is help people and help other people is help bring out those superpowers, right? Those experiences, those life experiences. And with that, I want to end us off with a poll. It's going to take a moment, though. Appreciate your patience. I'm going to take a moment in this poll. What is one thing you can really notice or appreciate you experienced today? Maybe it's something you're going to take with you. Maybe it's something you're going to try that's new. Maybe it's something you saw or experienced today that you'd like to do with your groups. Maybe you didn't, and that's also okay. You share that whatever it was that came out of this that was appreciative and helpful for you. All right, as you're adding some of these, I'd like to recognize some of you are still writing. Keep typing. Express what was your appreciation of today. Go ahead and feel free to vote on some too. Connecting with like-minded folks is coming up there too. Bringing lightness and enjoyment. Maybe some ideas around that. I also love how I said the butter smells great. The way it looks, it feels, it's different. Bring everyone into space, sharing their capacities. Recognizing that you all have experiences and life experiences that make a difference. Connection. Ooh, battling imposter syndrome, yes. Hearing similar experiences facilitators go through, yes, we have similar experiences. Of course, understanding everyone's different styles. I recognize that too. Chris, you had a really good example there. You know, like the different the yin and yang there. Gaining participants' perspectives. Maybe some other facilitators too, being here, hearing from other perspectives of facilitators. Yes, how complex facilitation is, something to definitely take away with. Awesome. Anyone else would like to voice and share anything else in addition to what was written here? Something you want to really feels good just to get it off your chest and share it with the group or internalize it. Hey, Stacy. All right. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you for bringing your ideas together. Thank you for being a part of this community with each other and participating. I really appreciate your time together today. Cheska, Rach, does that mean we should go on to the next? Close this out?
I think we
Yeah.
can close this out. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Will people get all the results and stuff after the fact?
Yeah, thanks
Nope.
to everyone for joining. I believe Cheska's gonna pop some links for if you want to connect with Marek in the chat there, as well as if you're not already with us in the butter community. We'd love to see you there. We do try to hold our butter mixers twice monthly, and so lots of different facilitators. We want to thank Marek so much for joining us today and sharing his knowledge with us. And also, if there's anyone in the room that's like, I have something I want to share, I want to host a butter mixer, you can always reach out to me or Cheska, and we'd love to help you craft something in butter. And this is, a very risk-free environment here for us to practice things and share things with each other. We also have the butter sandbox, which is very similar to that. So again, we want to thank Marek. There's the connection links in the chat there. We'll go ahead and pin these. So we got them. There we go. And there will be a recap with the recording and anything else that Marek gives us to share with you in the butter community. So keep an eye out for that. So again, thank you for joining.